There are several housing bills in Lansing right now just waiting on lawmakers. Some of the bills focus on evictions. Changes to the law would include creating a statewide fund that would give each tenant a right to legal counsel during the eviction process. The other bill would seal and expunge eviction records for a tenant. Other legislation looks at zoning laws that some say are a barrier to building affordable housing. Another bill looks to get rid of credit checks on renters. Housing advocates are pushing for these all to be passed and made law, but some property owners are asking lawmakers to take a closer look at the bills.
We want to make sure, because we have a housing shortage in Michigan, that we are able to maintain affordable housing.
Erica Farley is the executive director for the Rental Property Owners Association. Farley says many of these bills have great intentions.
It's not just about the property owners or the residents. I think it'll be a problem for both sides. I think there are unintended consequences of raising rents and making things more expensive.
For instance, there are bills that focus on the rights tenants have when it comes to being evicted.
We understand the purpose of the eviction expungement. We understand what they're going for, but we also have to make sure that we are not having unintended consequences for the other residents who are paying their rent and making sure that they are taking care of those properties.
In a typical year, Michigan landlords file eviction cases against 1 of every 6 renter households, which is pretty large.
Laura Ross is the communications director for the Michigan League for Public Policy. They published a report on evictions in Michigan and are urging lawmakers to pass legislation during this lame duck period.
One of those bills is Senate Bill 801, and that would provide for sealing and expungement of eviction records in certain cases. And often just one blemish on their record makes it harder for that renter to rent. And then that just creates a cycle with all of those negative outcomes.
Another piece of legislation is a House bill focused on getting tenants legal counsel.
We really believe every renter deserves a fair chance to fight for their home. We know that when tenants have lawyers, they are less likely to receive that eviction judgment from the court.
The Michigan League for Public Policy says 1.1 million people rent here in Michigan. Michigan has identified as having a housing crisis. A report from the state over the summer found that there are still 141,000 housing units short, despite building or rehabbing 50,000 units.